The Grizzlies beat the Blazers last night in a battle of two teams. They're looking like they might even fight it out for the 8th spot in the Western Conference. Ja Morant, that man right there, and Dame Lillard, that man right there, went tete-a-tete in a fascinating battle. Morant had 20. Brandon Clarke, unsung hero, had 27 off the bench. Jalen, I'm watching this game, and I've been listening to you all season long talk about how the Blazers are going to make the playoffs, and maybe the Thunder are going to slip out, or the Grizzlies will slip out. You're wrong about that. There is now 4 games between the Grizzlies and the Blazers. There's another 4 games between the Grizzlies and the Thunder. That's 8 games between the Blazers and the Thunder. And I'm looking at the math. And people think that the AllStar break's halfway through the season. It is not. And I came to a determination last night. The Blazers are not going to make the playoffs. You've been saying it all year. Are you ready to finally admit that you were wrong and that the Blazers are not going to make the playoffs?
You're correct. And the reason why I want to make sure that gets modified has nothing to do actually with the Blazers. It has everything to do with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Nobody saw that coming. Okay, Chris Paul is going to be an all-star in the Western Conference playing for that squad. We looked at that as a throwaway with the Houston Rockets, that trade. And all of a sudden, the assets that they gained, plus they're going to be a playoff team, they're basically performing like the Clippers did last year, this year in the Western Conference. Now, for the 8th spot, that will belong to the Memphis Grizzlies. And I know that the Mavs are your dynamic duo that you're adopting.
Whoa.
You're not surprised that the squad that I'm adopting, kind of like the Ravens in football, is Memphis.
Oh,
you know how much I love Ja and Jarrett Jackson. Brandon Clarke. That's another young player.
He looked great last night.
They're building something special. They locked up Brooks.
Brooks coming together? Yeah, they look good. They look
so
really good.
You're right. And it's because the Oklahoma City Thunder came and snatched Portland's spot.
And I also want to say something about Portland.
Memphis outplayed expectations.
People always look at Portland. They say, do we need to break up the backcourt? Do we need to break up the backcourt? The problem with Portland is nothing to do with their current roster. It has everything to do with health. I think that Nurkic and Collins going out really left a big void for them that you just can't fill in today's NBA at the trade deadline. Well, during the game, Dame Lillard went down with a groin strain, which means he might miss some games on the other side of the All-Star break, but he's definitely going to miss the three-point contest and the All-Star game. But we have some news, Jalen Rose. Dame Lillard, that was the play. He's going to be replaced on the All-Star Team LeBron by Devin Booker of the Phoenix Suns. Jalen, do you think that Booker is the correct replacement for Lillard on the All-Star team?
Well, it's tricky to call it Team LeBron, even though he and Giannis were the highest vote getters, when he didn't select this player. Just think about that. Why are we watching them do a draft, and then when somebody get hurt, they don't even select the replacement? First and foremost, that's a glitch in the matrix. You can't be mad at Booker for getting the nod because his numbers are just crazy offensively, and we know what he can do. But if all things equal, I would have had to reward winning and give the spot to Ja Morant because Memphis has been outstanding this year. And you introduced the world to somebody that most basketball aficionados don't even know. I asked you to get off work and walk down the hall where people get paid to talk about sports and ask them what question, Jacoby. What did I tell you to ask your coworker?
Who is the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies? And this is my guy, Coach Jenkins, who is a white guy named Jenkins. Something else that I really love about him, too. So, Jalen, I'm excited for both Devin Booker and Ja Morant, not because he's in the All-Star game, but because of the success of the Grizzlies. And it looks like they're going to make the playoffs, at least both Jalen and I think so. But a team that's definitely going to make the playoffs, the Toronto Raptors. They had a 15-game winning streak heading into Brooklyn to face the Nets, and they lost. It was a very balanced attack from the Nets. A lot of guys in double figures that took down this Raptors team, again, on a 15-game winning streak. So look at the schedule. They played Monday in Toronto and then Wednesday night in Brooklyn. And you're an NBA veteran. You played in the NBA for like 17 years. You know what I'm thinking. You know exactly what I'm thinking. So if you play on Monday and then again on Wednesday in Brooklyn, where do you think you stay on Tuesday night?
So, David Jacoby, we talk about champagning and campaigning for almost a decade on this program. And when I talk to you about the iconic places to do that at as a professional athlete, what are two of the places I always make sure get mentioned?
Atlanta and New York City.
Correct. So now all of a sudden, you throw Toronto in there, another place that I played. It's a short flight, and I saw the Raptors, and rightfully so, headed into AllStar break. They've been living their best life. Serge bought everybody scarves. They're enjoying one another as they should. Nick Nurse is Coach of the Year. But those New York City streets are undefeated. And you know you got to take a nap before you go out in New York. So props to the Nets. That was a scheduling loss.
Well, maybe perhaps on Tuesday night they were in New York and scarved down some drinks. Sorry, I had to. I apologize. It's a dad joke. I had to. I apologize to myself and my family, everyone that works on the show. I had to do it. I couldn't help myself. Let's move on before I start crying.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports analysis and highlights, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.